Hey Internet, Eric here. Interesting story behind today's video. I was scrolling through X and I came across a movie producer, Sunny Mahal. And I don't know if we have been following each other before. We're now following each other now. He has a website, mahalempire.com. He's produced a lot of movies. And he was he showed a poster of the film that I'm going to talk about, and he asked anybody who would want to watch a screener of this film to sit down, watch, and give a review. I DM'd him. He sent me the screener, and then I was on Google, to find some information about it. Found out it was on Tubi, so I was able to watch it on my phone, on my TV. And I said I would love to watch and discuss your film. He's the producer. As long as you know that it'll be 100% honest with my likes and dislikes. And he's all for it. Today, well, you know what? Spoilers. This video here is a have you ever seen? And what that is where I try to shine a spotlight on a film that no one seems to be talking about, no one has ever heard of. And I want to give, give it some flowers. Tonight, I'm going to ask, have you ever seen Devil's Night? Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. This came out just this year, and I think just a couple months ago. So I will have some spoilers in this, but I still recommend that you watch it. Now, I did take some notes because normally I go into this stuff unplanned, but because this was someone actually involved with the film, I wanted to take a little bit of notes to give credit where credit is due. The basic plot of this is we're in this kingdom, and well, how do I say this? Let's start it this way. The movie starts out, and we're at this campfire, okay, and it's like a group of thieves, and they're just shooting the shit. One of them shows out, they're showing off what they stole, and one of them it's actually quite funny. They're arguing, bickering, that type of stuff. One of them pulls out like a ring, but the finger is still attached. Did you have to take the finger too? It was easier that way. That type of stuff. One of the thieves is actually played by Daniel Baldwin, and Daniel Baldwin, I believe, has a blade, and the blade is supposedly made from a hook creature. This is a kingdom where monsters roam freely. Something causes the knife to get thrown. I don't know if Daniel's thrown it at one of the guys picking on him. And it's caught by this man in a robe. He walks down, sits himself comfortably at the fire, has some soup, takes off his hood, and he's missing an eye. And he's telling the story of what happened. And that character is Sigurd, Sigurd. He is the leader of a group of monster hunters, I guess you would say. Multiple types of people. They're dressed in armor. They're walking around like barbarians. They have battle axes, swords. They're called the Lost Swords, I think. Anyways, and he is talking about how he was hired by the king to destroy the bone devil that has been terrorizing the kingdom, type of thing. If this if this is a have you ever seen movie, I freaking loved it. First off, let's get to the performances. It's got a great cast. It's got a really good cast. First off, the lead actor who plays Sigurd, John Wells. Really liked him too. He's got a really good presence. You can tell the way he treats these people, treats his men, that they have a lot of respect for him, and he brings that in this role. He's got a lot of dignity into him, a lot of heart, a lot of honor, but he's also not afraid to kick some ass in the battlefield. So I liked him. Next we have, we have obviously Kevin Sorbo. You saw him on the poster. He is I guess you'd say the head of the Knights Guard, basically the head of the Knights. I like him. I wish he was in it a little bit more, but I don't really know Kevin Sorbo that well. I didn't watch Hercules: The Legendary Journey. Basically, the only thing I know Kevin Sorbo is from his post on X. And he played Abraham Lincoln in FDR, American Badass, and he was the best part of that whole fucking movie. I really like Kevin Sorbo in this. This movie here and FDR, American Badass, has made me want to watch more things with Kevin in it. Again, very dignified, but you could tell that he takes his honor and his position seriously, but he's been doing it for so long. Like a lot of times when he is just dealing with the town, he's tired of doing it. So he rolls his eyes a lot. I like the scene where he's trying to impress the people by telling stories and they don't care. There's a really good scene where a death has happened, and I guess you'd say the townspeople want to try to, they break down the door and kill the person who caused the death. I want to keep it a little bit vague. And he basically says, so you want to take on, you know, basically the person who was killed was the greatest swords person in this area, and you want to take down the person that took them down. Well, what are you gonna do? If we let you in, go on, go do it. Come on, you talked a lot of talk, go for it. Then they back down. I like that about him. He doesn't take any shit, and it comes through in his performance. And I really like Kevin Sorbo in this. We have an actress by the name of Kim Kelly. She plays Joan, who is the daughter of Sigurd. There is this ongoing thing where everyone thinks she's the son of Sigurd, going by the name of John. The only one who knows the secret is the dad, obviously. Secret comes out, whatever. She's really good. Badass with the sword. Badass sword fighter. Not afraid of anything. Uh, will go toe to toe to you no matter who you are, man or woman. Pretty young, looks young. I think the character's supposed to maybe be like 18, something like that. Loved her. Then we have the Monsignor, was played by Greg Talley. Fucking asshole. But he did his job. He is experimenting on a hook creature, trying to make the weapons, that type of thing. He's got a hook creature like in the dungeon that he's torturing with these experiments. He's just a slimy bastard, and he's got a little henchman with him, which is he's equally slimy. Really liked him. My favorite character was played by Victor Gelsomino. Sorry if I butchered you. He plays Renzo. And I knew I would love Renzo right away. Because when they walk into the kingdom after they're hired, he's just this little guy. Like he's not like a midget, but he's like this little guy. He's like he's got himself. He's nice and cut, but he's like the smallest of the group. And when they go into the kingdom and they meet the king, and everyone bows down, he doesn't. They're telling him to bow down to the king. He's no king of mine, that type of thing. He is this little guy. He's cool. He's badass. Great fight scenes. Great lines. He's the tracker. Like when they're searching for, towards the end, when they're searching for the bone demon, he sees some blood on the tree and he, wipes it, licks it type of thing to try to find out where the creature is. My favorite character in the whole movie. Eric Roberts is in this for a scene. He plays a regal character. That's what Eric Roberts does. He's there when you need someone dignified. So he's great. Daniel Baldwin, I didn't get to. He doesn't really do much other than a couple quips, here and there. But he's good. The only disappointment, and I said I would be honest, the only disappointment I have with the acting and the cast is Angie Everhart. Now, here's the thing about this movie. This movie, and I guess another thing which is kind of confusing, this movie, we don't know which characters are going to have which accents. Some speak with no accents at all, kind of like Kevin Sorbo and Daniel Baldwin. Some have French accents, some have English accents. Angie Everhart is she's a duchess, and she's trying to have this French accent, and it's not very good. I like Angie Everhart. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman. I loved her in Bordello of Blood, but she's trying this French accent, which is just so distracting. I don't want to say off-putting, but it's not very good, and it just distracts from every time she says a word. I'm like, we could have done without that. And to be honest, if we got so many accents and people are even doing characters without accents, let's just get rid of them altogether. I would have been okay with that. But that's probably like my biggest quip, or my biggest problem with this film is Angie Everhart's accent. Not her acting. She's fine with what she has to do, but it's just that accent is very distracting. Now, let's get to what else we got. We have the music. Music is, I guess you would say, your generic medieval times type of music, the lutes, the strings, the stuff we've all heard before. But there is some rock music sometimes when we have some fights, and I like that too. We end the movie with a rock song, which is really, really unexpected. The monsters, the Bone Devil looks really, really freaking cool. I'm not going to show the picture here on the poster because it doesn't give it justice, but he has like this granite mixture of bone and granite type look. His face looks monstrous. He's got like, it looks like thorns or what would you call them? Porcupine needles. You know what I mean? They look like little mini spikes coming out of his head. Winged, looks badass. And for the most part, when we see him, he's in the dark, which does help because I don't know the budget of this movie, but the monsters when they're in the dark, it helps it a little bit more. There is a shot of the bone devil in the sunlight. Still looks pretty good. Now let's get to the horn creature. Eventually, the horn creature does break out of the dungeon and destroys everybody in a fantastic sequence. He is killing people left and right. He is impaling them with his horn, crushing heads, ripping throats out, slicing this and that. The problem is when we get close-ups of the horn beast, the costume doesn't look so great. Now, it's not like Pumpkinhead 2, man in a rubber suit, bad, but it doesn't look the best. I mean, I think it would look better like if it was more so in the dark or from far away shots. But that's just me being nitpicky. The gore in this, 50-50. When we get neck slits and stabbings and, blood coming out of the mouth, it looks great. The problem is we have CGI blood spurts. Never been a fan of CGI blood spurts. I do not like them. I'd rather not have them at all. I understand it's cheaper with a budget, independent film, but it's just a lot of it looks bad. Even when we have some blood spurts on the camera, could have done without that. But I will say this: there is a really cool scene where I keep forgetting the name. The hook creature. Did I call it the hook creature or the horn creature? It's the hook creature. The hook creature like punches somebody. It's either the hook creature or the bone devil. Kills one of the knights by ripping his guts out. Now we see the punch. We don't see, the blood splurt, which is good. And then we see under the camera, we see the hand like this, pulling out the entrails and the intestines. That looked good. There's a scene where the lost swords save a woman from being sacrificed because people sacrificing her believe she's a witch. They're going to kill her, blah, blah, blah. Well, they save her, kill the people, and you find out she actually is a witch. That's a cool fight scene. She ends up ripping out somebody's heart. It's in the dark. You still see the punch and the reveal. No blood. Looks good. But then we get into a sword fight with the fake CGI blood. So, hit and miss. But when she goes on full witch, she looks awesome with like these like the blue veins and the witch's insignia on her head, the eyeballs. Really, really good. Fight choreography, pretty good for, I don't know if they have a choreographer or not, but I liked a lot of the battles. The battle between, what's the character's name? Joan and the female character that she kills. I won't say who because it causes them to get in trouble. That's really good. The way Joan is able to survive is really good. The fight with the witch and the swords. All the fights against the monsters themselves are really, really good. I really fucking liked this movie. I liked the ending. It was a surprise. I did not expect that to happen. Oh, and there's there's a little good comedy in this. I like how they're not talking in Old English. They're talking like you and I are talking. You know what I mean? Bad accents notwithstanding. And that's a lot of fun. And what I like about this movie is they cut back and forth between Sigrid, I don't know his name, John Wells' character. John Wells is, telling the story to the thieves and Daniel Baldwin, and every now and then it'll cut back to them, and he'll have to keep talking about this, like, when do we get to the bone demon type of thing? The bone devil, blah, 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 fight stuff happens. They defeat a bone devil. And it cuts back to them, and they're like, wow, that's it? That's pretty anticlimactic, and we still have like 30 minutes left of the movie. You haven't even lost your eye yet. You know, that's kind of lame. So the little bits of comedy like that, sprinkled in here and there, makes this film a lot more fun. I've never heard of this film before. And if it wasn't for just a chance of meeting or seeing Sunny Mahal post this on X, I never would have thought of watching it, but I highly, highly recommend Devil's Night. Really good performances. Oh, the guy who plays the king, I really liked him as well. Great performances, great love for his daughters, great respect to the lost swords. I like when Renzo doesn't bow down, he walks over and he says, "I'm glad someone treats me just like a regular man." So that's cool. Gotta give props to the character who played the king too. But I really freaking loved Devil's Night. Really good performances overall. You know, and some of them, some poor choices. Fun action, great use of comedy. The look on the main character, played by John Wells, with the missing eyeball. That practical effect looked really good. So you have these likable characters, great action, pretty cool looking monsters. When the horn creature, the hook creature, when he breaks out and he's killing everybody, that's a fun sequence, CGI blood or not. Loved how it ended. Won't spoil that. That was like a yes, that's cool type of thing. Highly, highly recommend Devil's Night. I want to give major props to Sunny Mahal for, again, allowing me to, or inspire me to watch and review this one. I'm going to go to mahalempire.com. I've already checked it out. There's been a few movies that I've heard of that I'm now interested in, because if he's got his hand in the pot, I'm there. And I want to give a shout out to director Adam Worth. This was really, really good, and now I'm interested in your filmography as well, if you see this. So, really like the characters. Not much I didn't enjoy about this film. It's just really, really, really freaking fun. And it looks good. These sets look good. The way it's filmed, it doesn't have that cheap, made-for-TV, made-for-streaming vibe. It looks nice. The cinematography is really freaking well done. Major props, and really, really surprised. I didn't know what I was getting into with this one, and like I said, I'm not being compensated either way. I could have shit on this movie if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna, because I really had a good time. So highly recommend Devil's Night. It is available on Tubi, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Have you heard of this film? If so, have you seen it? Tell me what you thought. Like, dislike, all that jazz. Click the bell. Hope everyone has a nice, safe, and happy New Year. And really, if you like some of the stuff that I like on this channel, I'll be very surprised if you don't like Devil's Night. Check it out, like I said, for free on Tubi. Can't go wrong. Cheers.